We have the latest now on a story that has put a big strain on the relationship between this country and China. Tonight, the blind activist who made a daring escape from house arrest and then took refuge at the U.S. Embassy has now left the embassy, and his departure is raising a lot of questions. NBC's Ian Williams has the latest from Beijing.
In a Beijing hospital for treatment and a family reunion after a deal between the US and China that now appears to be unraveling. Chen Guangcheng was brought to the hospital personally by the US ambassador Gary Locke. US officials say he'd left the US embassy voluntarily after 6 days, preferring to stay in China after assurances from the Chinese authorities about his safety.
From day one, his expressed desire was to remain in China. He sought to be reunited with his family. He was looking for a better life.
They said he never once asked for asylum. One senior US official said Chinese authorities assured Chen that he wouldn't be mistreated and that his allegations of abuse would be investigated and that he'd get a new home and a university job. But hours later, with US officials gone, Chen apparently had a dramatic change of heart. In an emotional telephone interview with NBC News, he said he'd only left the embassy because of threats to his family. I demand the US government take concrete action to guarantee my safety and human rights and not consider other interests, he said. I want to leave China. Any country is fine. Hillary Clinton in China today said earlier the deal reflected Chen's choices and American values. She'd hoped to prevent the issue from overshadowing high-level talks Thursday, as NBC's chief foreign affairs correspondent Andrea Mitchell explains.
All this has been a diplomatic nightmare for Hillary Clinton, who went to Beijing to press China on Iran, Syria and North Korea, but now faces a Chinese government angry about what it calls U.S. interference on a domestic issue. And the administration, under pressure to hold China to account on human rights, will now be almost responsible for ensuring Chen's safety.
US officials promised to closely monitor Chen's treatment for years if necessary.
US diplomats will return to see Chen in hospital this morning, but he's no longer under diplomatic protection. China's angry and embarrassed, even demanding an apology. And for Chen, leaving the country may no longer be an option, Brian.
Ian Williams in Beijing tonight. Thanks.